all in oneness. May each who feels himself as one with thee know he is also one with every other. Come back. I don't think Sister Vimal Balchander needs an introduction. We all know her. She has already conducted many sessions in the Indian section as well as in workshop mode for youth. She has been a regular speaker. She has read good books which she keeps on referring in her talks, in her deliberations. So let us welcome her with this note to today's letters from 56 to 59.
Thank you,
Over to
sister.
you, sister.
Thank you, Sister Sabrina. Thank you for the opportunity, Pradeep ji. And so we are continuing with our Letters of the Masters of Wisdom series 2. All the next 6 letters are going to be, 7 letters are going to be letters written to Mohini Chatterjee. Now, the thing with the history of the Theosophical Society is there were 3 youngsters who were all of them chosen either as probationary jailers or accepted jailers. Who were those 3? Those 3 were born between the years 1856, 1857, and 1858. All 3 you know very well. One of them was Mohini Chatterjee. He was the youngest of the 3. The other 2 was Subbarao and Damodar Malvalankar. You know the plight of Subbarao. You know about Damodar. He was the only adept amongst all the chelas of that period. Unfortunately, Mohini Chatterjee also was eventually left out of the race. He was rejected. Okay, he was a rejected chela. So these 3 letters are connected to Mohini Chatterjee, and Mohini's own personal history is very interesting. Born in 1858, he was just 24 years old when he joined the Bengal Theosophical Society in April 16th, 1882. This was the second big society branch that was started of the Indian section, this Bengal Theosophical Society. And the beautiful thing about it is this BTS, Bengal Theosophical Society, has got a Bengali name also. Bengali what is it? Written it down. Tattvad or something, Samiti. So it's BTS in English and BTS in Bengali also is there. Bengali is also there. So he joined this at the age of 24, and he was married to Rabindranath Tagore's niece, Rabindranath Tagore's elder brother's daughter, Saroja Devi. He was married to her. He was a lawyer, and his great grandfather was Raja Ram Mohan Roy, who started the Brahmo Samaj. So he came from a very good lineage himself. He was well studied. He was very quickly recognized by the society. When he joined, immediately he became the assistant secretary of the president of that BTS. And he was appointed as a teacher for the Theosophical Sunday School, which Olcott had started with 17 children the very next year in 1883. And between the 2 years, 1882 and 1884, he received 13 letters from Master KH. And he saw the master himself in astral form at least 5, 6 times. He was a chela in probation, and because of his great qualities, his ability to understand and deliver speeches and talk convincingly, write well, he was taken with the HPB and HSO to Europe when they went for a tour in 1884 as Olcott's personal secretary. He wrote the Man Fragments of a Forgotten History with Laura Holloway in 1884 while he was staying with Francesca Arundel, and later was invited by Charles Johnston, who's also a well-known theosophist, to Ireland, Dublin in Ireland, where he lectured these Irish poets, William Butler Yeats and Russell. Now, Yeats has written a poem for Mohini Chatterjee, titled Mohini Chatterjee. That's also there. I have got it. If we have time, I'll read the poem to you. The controversy around him was that he got involved romantically with some of these European women. He started writing letters to them, and one of them wrote to HPB saying that this is what he's doing. If he does this, I will publicly defame him. So, in that context, HPB writes about him. She says he was spoiled by male and female adulation, incessant flattery, and his own weakness. Now, he also became arrogant and he was openly critical of Alcott's way of administrating the TS. From Europe, he actually went to America in 1885 and with Arthur Gebhard wrote an article about how Alcott, the present president, is running this like this, but it should be run like that. Some long article which I read. It's a lot of legal information was there in it, and he'd written a long article against HPB, HSO, and this annoyed HPB a lot. From that time on, there was a rift between Mohini and the founders, and eventually he resigned from the TS in 1887 and went back to Calcutta to practice law. But he stayed in touch with the studies because he had translated the Viveka Chudamani, which we all, even now, TPH is publishing in 1896, much 10 year, nearly 10 years after he resigned from the Theosophical Society. And he also translated the Upanishads along with GRS Meads. So he lived for a very long time, and whether he continued to keep in touch with the TS through letters, we don't have any printed proof, but probably the archives will have it. He eventually died a blind person in London when he was living with his daughter. So this is the background of who Mohini was. Now let us look at how Jinaraja Dasa, he gives a forward for every set of letters. So Jinaraja Dasa is also given an introductory forward, and he also covers the same points but a few more points. So let us read that. One of the band of brilliant Indians who helped in taking the theosophical ideas to the West lands is Mohini Mohan Chatterjee. He was drawn to theosophy in 1882. He was equipped with an unusually keen philosophical mind. He was accepted by the master KH as a pupil and much expected of him. About 1886, however, after splendid service, he fell out with HPB. That means he broke up with her. And bit by bit, lost his interest in the Theosophical Society. Mr. Mohini Mohan Chatterjee left for Europe with the founders in February 1884. He rendered valuable aid with lectures and discourses both in Paris and London, and many European theosophists still remember the brilliance of presentation of spiritual truths by the young Hindu. He visited America the next year. The letters which follow are at Adyar. In letter 58, reference is made to the Christian pernicious superstition. The masters objected in popular Christianity to the emphasis it laid on one life, with the resulting greed and scramble to crowd all experiences into that one life, as also to the intensification of the fear of death and the consequent heightening of the struggle of existence for all. So in this letter 58, we will see that the masters have made a reference to the pernicious Christian superstition. This pernicious means all spreading, like grabbing, that type of influence of the superstitious belief that there is only one life and that everything has to be experienced in this one life, and that death is the end, and also the fear of death, also the fact that we have to struggle to extend this life and make the most of this life. This type of thinkings were there in this Christian religion as per the letter that we will be reading. Equally emphatic was that denunciation of a personal god as presented in exoteric Christianity. There is of course one god which they call Jesus Christ as the son of that god, which made men lose in self-reliance and taught them to look outside of themselves to achieve that reformation of their nature, which is the prelude to true peace and happiness. So, as per Buddhism, as per theosophy, real self transformation is the only way our lives will improve, which is what Buddhism also taught, and which is what theosophists also talk about. That was not given that much importance in the Christian religion, rather, a belief that it is this one personal Jesus Christ who will take us, salvage us, help us out of this whole thing. So, in this context, Jinaraja Dasa says that please see letter one from the standpoint of the Maha Chauhan on Western civilization. So, Jinaraja Dasa asks us to read that uh, letter of Maha Chauhan's letter. So, before we just do that, I will read to you the letter first, and then we will go back to seeing what the Maha Chauhan said. So, letter number 57, this is just a one line letter. It says, welcome Mohini, deserve as well, and you will have the same. So far, I am satisfied with your efforts, KH. So, here it is just saying that if you work hard, you will get whatever is going to come to you. So far, I'm happy with you. Very simple. Then one line he says for convey my blessings to Norendro. That is Norendra Nath Sen. Narendra Nath Sen is shown in this picture on the right. He was the proprietor and editor of the newspaper called the Indian Mirror, which was a leading paper in India, which voiced the opinions of Indians about Indians. So it was a very important newspaper. And this Nath Sen was in contact with the theosophists, was supporting them. He did a lot of work for them, and he was also probably in touch with the masters themselves. He was the first president of the Bengal Theosophical Society, and it was one of the earliest branches of the TS, like I said. And I was just telling you the regional name. The regional name of BTS was Bengali Tattva Vidya Samiti. So Mohini was the assistant secretary of this BTS. Now, what the in the second letter, which is where the reference to the Mahachohan's letter has come, letter number 58. Let's read that. My newly accepted Chela Mohini MC is expected to do the following. Number one, he will devote all his energies to prove to the unbelievers that we, the heirs of the rishis, are not dead, and that the founders of the TS are acting in many things under our direct orders. So, if you remember, even Ramaswamy Iyer went to meet the masters, and he was also asked to tell that, look, we are really there. Please tell everybody that we are real human beings. They are not the figment of the imagination of HPP. And this kind of a same pressure, the master KH is telling Mohini also that please tell people that we are not dead people, we are alive people. And the founders of the TS have our support, are doing everything under our direction. Next, forgetting mean self to try and work for his country and to counteract the extian pernicious superstition. So here extian means Christian. So to avoid any controversy, he has not written Christian, he has written extian pernicious superstition. This is what Master KH has written. Please forget your own self and work selflessly for the country and to counteract the effect of the Christian missionaries. So there were so many missionaries who were starting schools, colleges. They were in a rampage in North India and possibly in South India, and spread all over, whether they were from Ireland or from Britain or from parts of Europe. Like I know, for example, I came from a convent school. There were many convent schools in the town where I lived in Lucknow. And this kind of influence was there everywhere. Everywhere you had schools, St. Joseph's Convent, so many names, all Christian names, and all run by various missionaries. So that kind of a thing started, uh, was there during that century, 19th century also. So this is what the master is saying. You have to counteract the influence of the Christian pernicious superstition. Then third point, he says, to break entirely with and denounce and expose those bigoted Brahmos whose Brahmoism conceals but Christianity under its mask. Now, to understand this, another thing is that there was this whole Brahmo Samaj, which was started by Devendranath Tagore, Rabindranath Tagore's father, along with Raja Ram Mohan Roy in 1828. But in 1866, Tagore's disciple Keshav Chandra Sen created a break and took one part of it and made it into Brahmo Samaj. Now, this Brahmo Samaj was saying that Christianity is not very different from Hinduism. So that is what the master is written here, that this Brahmos is just another conceals Christianity under it. It's not really what it was. It had been started with the idea that we have to fight against casteism, against child marriage, against sati practices. All those good intentions were there in the beginning, but now it has become something different, and that is what the master is talking about. So later, the same person, this Keshav Chandra Sen, also started talking against HPB and HSO, and there was a problem there also. Next, he must not speak to any one of my chelas by name. So before we go into this, let us finish this whole aspect of this Christian pernicious influence, which Jina Raja Dasa says, please refer the Mahachohan's letter on this. So I have just taken out the excerpts from the Mahachohan's letter, which refers to this Christian influence. So let's read that, just 10 lines. Let's read that to understand what the Mahachohan said about it. The Mahachohan says, the curse known as the struggle for life, which is the real and most prolific parent of most woes and sorrows and all crimes. Why has that struggle become the almost universal scheme of the universe? We answer because no religion, with the exception of Buddhism, has hitherto taught a practical contempt for this earthly life, while each of them, always with that one solitary exception, has, through its hells and damnations, inculcated the greatest dread of death. Therefore, do we find that struggle for life raging most fiercely in Christian countries, most prevalent in Europe and America. So let's just break this forward. What the Mahachohan is saying is that there is only one religion which talks about having contempt for this earthly life. Nothing that we aim for, desire for, crave for on earth is worth having. No religion will teach you that except Buddhism. And all of them are trying to scare you about whatever is there after death, the hell, endless time in hell if you do something wrong. Fear is installed into the believers of Christianity. And that sort of an ethos is there in all the Christian countries in Europe and in America. At the next point, the world in general and Christendom specially, left for 2000 years to the regime of a personal God, as well as its political and social systems based on that idea has now proved a. So these are the points in the Mahachohan's letter. And if you sum this whole thing, the if you look at the defects that are being pointed out of the Christian religion, they are saying that there's too much emphasis on one life, which results in greed in wanting to experience everything in that one life. There is too much fear of death. Then there is a struggle to live as long as possible. Fourth is a reliance on a personal God. That is, this personal God will take us out of this misery, will solve our problems. If we pray to Him, all our sins will be washed off. We will not have to pay for our sins if we pray to Him, things like that. Hence, not realizing that transformation or reformation of nature is the most important thing for finding true happiness. So this has been mentioned in this letter number 58 up to this point. Now let's go on to the next topics mentioned in this letter. The next topic is the letter goes on. He must not speak that is Mohini, he must not speak to any one of my chelas by name, as he must by name. He must let everyone know that he has met with and knows my chelas. Yet, with the exception of Mr. Sinnett, for reasons he is well acquainted with, he must not pronounce DN's name nor that of RSG's. DN is Dhanpagirinath and RSG is Rama Surendra Gargya. Now, in we know from the Mahatma letter study that generally, if the masters don't want some chelas to be known as their chelas, they want their chelas to keep that fact as a secret for their own reasons, because they don't want their chelas' minds to be disturbed by unnecessary attraction, unnecessary adulation. So they ask the chelas to remain incognito. And this was the instruction that please do not tell anybody about my chelas and don't talk about my chelas. Then the master PH says he must bear in mind that whenever Upasika tells him anything of great importance or as emanating from me, her words must be prefaced with the sentence in the name of Amitabh. Otherwise, even she can be inaccurate and repeat her own fancies, her memories, her memory being much impaired by ill health and age. He must also know that Upasika was with us from September 19th to the night of September 21st, 2 days, and that since then she was in direct communication with my confidential chelas. Now, those of you who remember the story of Ramaswamy Iyer told by excellently by Vibhaji last week, in which Ramaswamy Iyer met the master M, I think it was, in on 5th of October. 5th and 6th, 6th morning, he met the master M in Sikkim. Before that, in September, there were a group of Bengalis who were following HPB, but HPB had managed to go to to spend 2 days in the master's place near Darjeeling, near in Sikkim, where she went and met the master, stayed with him for 2 days, and those 2 days are the September 19th to 21st, when she was very unwell. Actually, she had gone all the way to Calcutta and then to Darjeeling to only go and recoup within the master's presence. So that is what has is being said here, that she is not well. So even if she says something, unless she says prefaces that by saying in the name of Amitabh, please assume that it is something she herself is saying. Unless she says this, if she says this, it means it's coming from me. So don't blindly believe anything she is saying. That is the next point. Remember, this is you are talking to a Mohini who's just 24 years old. He's a young boy. So the master is giving this kind of guidance. Then the next point, my chelas must never doubt, nor suspect, nor injure our agents by foul thoughts. This is the most important point. And this is where later you will find that Mohini fouled up and made a mistake. uh, the doubt, suspect, and the injury which we can make with our thoughts is something very, very, uh, it can pull anybody down from whatever level of quality of mind they have brought themselves to. If they have brought their mind and their heart to a certain spiritual level, if they allow doubt, suspicion, or if they doubt the people who are working for the society, they are creating a foul atmosphere for themselves and spoiling their own growth. So that is why the master says, don't have that kind of thinking at all. Our modes of action are strange and too often liable to create suspicion. The latter is a snare and a temptation. Happy is he whose spiritual perceptions ever whisper truth to him. So the masters are dealing with numerous people the world over. They have numerous problems the world over to deal with. They use people's help to solve other problems. So what is their aim? What are they doing? All that, if a person starts trying to analyze, he will get into a snare, a temptation. He will get stuck. He will be trapped by his own negative and wrong thoughts about the master. So it's best not to think, or if you're thinking, go into a space of intuition where some spiritual perceptions will whisper the truth to you. Otherwise, it is best never to judge the master, is what is being hinted at over here. In many ways, the masters have seen all these chelas and how they actually fail. So all these are teachings to a chela that look, likelihood this can happen, that you will be tempted by thinking that the master has made a mistake. Don't think like that. The master knows more than you. So he is giving him all these tips. Next, judge those directly concerned with us by that perception, not according to your worldly notions of things. So, whatever limited knowledge you have, don't judge us based on that. Judge us directly by that perception that you do not know everything about us. So our actions may seem strange to you. Next point, Mohini will go to Calcutta and Allahabad as proposed, doing all he can in the former town to promote the cause. Allahabad, because Senate is there, he has his contacts, he will help anybody from the TS to do the work. And Calcutta, because he is from Calcutta. So he is asked to go to these two places and promote the cause. And that was a time when theosophists were giving lectures, they were talking to normal public and having meetings openly all the time. It was not just meetings in a society or in one premise, it was everywhere. Moini is given 1 year to September 17, 1883. This letter is September 1882. So, Master is saying, we will give you 1 year up to September 17th, 1883 to show what he can do and how much he's worthy of my trust. So, obviously, he did prove his trust because 1 year later, he was taken with HPB and HSO to Europe. Then, next point, what befell RS may happen to him? Ramaswamy Iyer. In this, I think that Ramaswamy Iyer, who actually went to meet the master the next month in October, had a thinking that he was not yet accepted as a chela and he was hoping to get accepted. That is why he went to meet the master. The master M, which those of you heard last week will remember that the master said, you are not yet ready to be accepted, so you go back and continue to work hard and don't think about this part. So I think here, the fact that he has not yet been accepted uh, might become something which can happen to Mohini also. Is what so these are still probationary chelas. Mohini is also probationary chela, as Ramaswamy Iyer is a probationary chela, and that is what the KH Master KH is warning him. Last point is Mohini can add my name to the name of Dash. Let him, this is faded out. It's not clear whose name it is. Let him reflect well and speak with Upasika and find out the coincidence. To make all the aforesaid clear, let him consult with Upasika, who must know nothing of the contents of this letter. And remember the words that once prefixed must carry conviction to his heart. So I'm not sure what this is about. We only know that last line, which he says that, remember, whenever Upasika, that is HPB, speaks with the sentence in the name of Amitabh, that's the only time you must be sure she is speaking my words. Otherwise, don't be very sure of what she is saying. So this ends this letter 58. And then we go to the last letter of today. Now, before that, let us see whether it was. No, yeah. Okay, let's continue 50, letter number 59. My good boy, Dash, can write as well as speak, and lying is still easier on paper than in oral communications. Unless he's shown as a liar, he will remain forever powerful in mischief. Now, the mark that has been mentioned here in Jinaraja Dasa Rice has made a mark there, and he says, I omit the name given by the masters by initials. He was an enemy of the founders. So about somebody, the master has written to Mohini that this person can both speak well and he can write well also. and he can lie very easily. So unless he is proved to be a liar, he will be a powerful person doing mischief. Now, this person has already done some mischief. So let us read what was the mischief that person did. Your venerable grandsire. Who's this venerable grandsire? Devendranath Tagore, the father of Rabindranath Tagore. Your venerable grandsire is easy to influence. And if dash, that is this above person, mischief maker, has not said more, it is because the old gentleman was influenced to change the conversation. So actually, what had happened is this mischief maker was talking to Debendranath Tagore, and the old man changed the conversation. He was influenced to change the conversation. Otherwise, this mischief maker would have put some negative thoughts into his head. But he has said enough to prejudice his mind in a kind of dormant way. So he has said something which is influencing Debendranath Tagore, but in a dormant way. That means it is in a mild way. The remembrance may become active, awakened by a trifle, and when we expect it the least, act accordingly. See, these people are powerful people. Debendranath Tagore and the Tagore family, all are powerful people. So they are always worried about the influence they can have on the work that these other young theosophists are doing. So the master has warned him that look, that mischief maker has already told something to Debendranath Tagore. I am warning you. Although right now it has not developed into anything negative, but because that thought is there in that old man's head, he may in the future become active and it will cause some problems. So at that time, you act accordingly. You at that time you have to speak the truth and tell that man to clear that Debendranath Tagore's mind, whatever wrong thing was spoken. That's what the master said. Then the next point is, I want you, my dear boy, to write an account for the theosophist of what the peddler said and the Dehra Brahmacharya. Make it as strong as you can and have all the witnesses at Darjeeling and Dehra. But the name is written Kuthumpa, disciples of Kuthumi, though pronounced Kethumpa. Now, this part comes in the appendix. So we read one appendix by Ramaswamy Iyer, which was the account of Ramaswamy Iyer meeting Master M. The second appendix is about Mohini's account of his experiences of people who had talked to him about the masters. So Master KH is asking him to write about that experience in the Theosophist, which is in Appendix 2. It's a very long letter, a very long article written by Mohini, and we'll have to do that in a separate day. But in that, just briefly, I can just tell you that there was a brahmacharya, Bengali brahmacharya, who had come to Darjeeling, and in the presence of HPP and Ramaswamy Iyer and Norendro and Mohini, talked about a story in which he had met Master Cage. So that is this brahmacharya from Dehradun. That time Dehradun was called just Dehra. It was later on called Dehradun. So this brahmacharya story, how he met the Master KH and what happened, that is narrated in the appendix. Second is, there was a person in that same place in Darjeeling, one peddler. Peddler means the people who are selling things in boxes and bags on the street. They go from house to house selling things. Those are called peddlers. So that type of a peddler had also known about the master KH. He in fact knew about the disciples of KH, whom we call Puthumpas. So this peddler said, I know these people. They are called Puthumpas. Puthumpas are disciples of Puthumi. And here Master KH is saying they are written as Puthumpas but pronounced Kethumpas. So about that also, what that peddler told, that whole story is also narrated by Mohini in the appendix, which we are not going to go into today. But that's also very interesting. Then the letter goes on. Write and send to Pasika in Allahabad a general, sorry, what is it? Write and send to Pasika, Allahabad. A general meeting of the Theosophical Society is to be held in Bombay either on 27 November or December 7th, and delegates will be sent from all societies. Mr. Sinnett will also go. I want you to be the delegate of the Bengal Society. So he is telling Mohini that please write and send to Pasika, who's in Allahabad right now. Please write this down and send it to her that there will be a general meeting of the Theosophical Society to be held in Bombay, either on the 27th of November or on December 7th. And there will be delegates from all the societies. And by then, we have 39 branches in India. So all the societies will come to Bombay, and Mr. Sinnett also will be there. And I want you to be the delegate of the Bengal Theosophical Society. That is what the master has written. Next point. You will go there for Dehra. You will go there from Dehra, that is Dehradun, stopping at Meerut a day or two to Allahabad instead of Calcutta, and go with Upasika starting on 23rd or 24th of that is November. That is, he's asking him to go to Dehradun, Meerut, and Allahabad, pick up Upasika HPB from there, and then go to Mumbai. I will pay for your journey if the Society of Calcutta refuses doing it. It is absolutely necessary for the cause, your country and theosophy, that you should represent it. It is absolutely necessary that you go to Calcutta, to Bombay. Uh, Theosophy and your country uh, needs this work from you. You will stop, of course, with the founders. That means you will stay with the founders in that crow's nest, that building which was called Crow's Nest, which was where the first thing was established. Later on, they gave it up and went to uh, Chennai, to Madras, for the final Theosophical Society's headquarters. But the first one that was established was in a building called the Crow's Nest in Bombay. So this was the instruction. Next, write this to Norendro. That is Norendra Nath Sen, who was the editor and proprietor of the Indian Mirror, that newspaper, as to the best means of representing your society. Write to him and consult him what is the best way you can represent your Bengal Theosophical Society. May the blessings of our great one rest upon you. You will have my portrait if you are patient, and it will be a talisman for you. Affectionately, KH. So at the end, Dino Rajadasa writes that both M.M. Chatterjee, that Mohini Mohan Chatterjee and Narendranath Sen, were present at the convention, the very first 7 years convention. That is first convention which happened after 7 years of the starting of the Theosophical Society, which was very auspicious for the society, which was held on December 7th, 1882 in Bombay. This is the picture of that convention and the people who attended it. You can see HPB and HSO. I spotted a few people like Ramaswamy Iyer, but very difficult to see others. And there were 39 branches represented during this convention. The banner that you see at the back is an embroidered banner. With in the center, you have the interlaced double triangle, and then on the emblem of the Theosophical Society. But all around it also, there is some symbolic representation of the 39 branches, all of it embroidered in a scarlet red, some shade of red silk, done by Madame Coulomb, of all the people. So she had made that whole flag, like which you see at the back. And this building is called Framji Kovasji Hall, which still exists in Mumbai today. And this is the picture from the net of what it looks like now. So any of you in Mumbai, you know this is where HVB and HSO once sat, and how exciting to just think that they at one point sat in front of this building, and there were a lot of people. Apparently, not all of them were members, but a lot of crowd had come that day for that day's meeting. So this is the end of these four letters, and see, all of these letters are meant for some takeaway for our daily practice. And as I see it, the master had lot of hopes from this young boy, 24 years old, who joined the Theosophical Society. And he was a member of the society for 5 years before he resigned. He rose so high, he wrote books. He sacrificed his career, the beginnings of his career as a lawyer, and went around talking about theosophy, doing the work of the theosophists, helping HPB and HSO, and then developed so many doubts and so much of negativity inside him because of pride, because of the adulation he was getting, everyone admiring him. He thought in some way that he could judge HPB and HSO. So what I felt is he got caught in a web of his own making, and in this I feel that it is Buddha has taught about this part. What are the four uh, floods, he calls it, but Buddha calls it four floods that can take us away from the truth? One of them is karma or cravings, our desires. Our desires can take us away from the truth. If we desire something so much, we forget what is the truth, what is the reality, who are the people we'll hurt. So that is number one. Second is life incidents also take us away from the truth. If we lose someone whom we love, or if we lose our job, or if we lose our home, if we lose money, then also we start thinking all the things we never thought before. But because we are so caught up with some life activity, which is called bhavana in Buddhism. Or the third flood is avidya, not knowing what is the right thing. Just not knowing what is the right thing, what is the correct thing to do in a situation, that can also take you into a flood of misery, where your life is pushed out of the truth. The fourth is wrong views. And this, according to me, is the fault of Mohini. He developed wrong views as he progressed in his learning. And that was a flood which overtook him and drove him into this whole situation where he thought that he knew better how to run the society better than Olcott, started writing openly, talking openly, and went against the founders of a society which was still new. It was a new baby. It was so young. And you don't expect a youngster like Mohini Chatterjee to talk. So, after 5 years of being in the society, he left the society and went back to practicing law. So, what do we learn is that let us be aware that we could also have wrong views about people, about the people who work for the society, about the historical people of the society. And we could go in the flow that our views will capture us so much that we think we are right, and we'll go in that flow and make mistakes about the people of the society. So that is, I think, for me, one important learning. Of course, not having pride, not having conceit is also very, very important. So with this, I will end today's talk. And there is a poem which I would love to share if there is time, written by William Butler Yeats. But before that, I think we will wait. If there is no time, we will not share that. I request
No, no, we
our
have
Hindi
time.
translator.
You don't worry.
Uh,
You have time. You can say this.
yeah, yeah. Who's Meenakshi ji, to please give our translation in Hindi.
Okay, so at the end, you can say that. Okay?
Yes.
Fine, fine.
सभी को नमस्ते और थैंक यू सिस्टर। आज हम लेटर नंबर 57, 58 और 59 ले रहे हैं, जो कि मास्टर के एच मोहिनी मोहन चटर्जी को लिखते हैं। लेटर नंबर 57 में मास्टर कहते हैं कि मोहिनी, आपका स्वागत है। जिसके आप लायक हो, आपको वही मिलेगा। अभी तक के आपके कार्यों से, प्रयत्नों से मैं प्रसन्न हूँ। आखिर में मास्टर लिखते हैं कि नरेंद्रनाथ सेन को मेरे आशीर्वाद। लेटर नंबर 58 में मास्टर कहते हैं कि मेरे नए चेला मोहिनी मोहन चटर्जी से निम्नलिखित बातों का पालन करने की उम्मीद की जाती है। पहला, वे अपनी संपूर्ण ऊर्जा नीचे दी गई बातों पर लगाए। हम पर अविश्वास करने वालों को यह साबित करे कि हम जो सिद्ध संघ के महात्मागण हैं, हम मृत नहीं हैं और थियोसॉफिकल सोसाइटी के संस्थापकों द्वारा किए गए कई कार्य हमारे प्रत्यक्ष आदेशों के तहत हो रहे हैं। निस्वार्थ होकर अपने देश के कार्य करने की कोशिश करे और ईसाइयों के विघातक अंधविश्वास का मुकाबला करे और उन कट्टर ब्रह्म समाजियों से पूरी तरह से नाता तोड़े, उनका निषेध करे और उनका पर्दाफाश करे, जिनके ब्रह्मवाद के पीछे ईसाईत्व छिपा है। उसने मेरे किसी भी चेला से उनके नाम से संबोधित करके बात नहीं करनी चाहिए। उसने यह सभी को बताना होगा कि वह मेरे चेलों से मिल चुका है और उन्हें जानता है, सिवाय सीनेट के, जिसके पीछे के कारणों से वह भली भांति वाकिफ है। उसने डीएन यानी दर्भगिरीनाथ और आरएसजी यानी राम सुरेंद्र गर्ग्य देव के नाम का उच्चारण नहीं करना चाहिए। उसे यह ध्यान में रखना होगा कि जब भी उपासिका उसे कोई बहुत जरूरी बात बताए या जो बात मेरी ओर से हो, तो उसके बोलने से पहले यह वाक्य प्रथम होना चाहिए, अमिताभ बुद्ध को समर्पित। नहीं तो एचपीबी भी गलत हो सकती है और अपनी ही काल्पनिक बातें दोहरा सकती है, क्योंकि खराब सेहत और उम्र होने की वजह से उनकी याददाश्त बहुत कमजोर हो गई है। उसे यह भी ज्ञात हो कि उपासिका हमारे साथ सितंबर 19 से लेकर सितंबर 21 की रात तक 2 दिन थी और तब से वह मेरे गोपनीय शिष्यों के साथ सीधे संवाद में है। मेरे चेलों ने कभी शंका संदेह नहीं करना चाहिए और न ही हमारे एजेंट्स को बुरे विचारों से क्षति पहुंचानी चाहिए। हमारी कार्य पद्धति असामान्य और असाधारण है और अक्सर संदेह पैदा कर सकती है। शंका संदेह पैदा करना यह एक जाल और प्रलोभन है। वह खुशनसीब है जिसकी अंतः प्रज्ञा उससे हमेशा सच्चाई का गुंजन करती है। हमसे जो लोग सीधे जुड़े हैं, प्रत्यक्ष जुड़े हैं, उन्हें इसी समझ से जानो, न कि अपनी सांसारिक सोच के हिसाब से। निर्देशानुसार मोहिनी कलकत्ता और इलाहाबाद जाएंगे। कलकत्ते में सोसाइटी के उद्देश्य को प्रचारित करने के लिए वे जो कुछ कर सकते हैं वह करें। मोहिनी का कार्य कर सकते हैं मोहिनी क्या कार्य कर सकते हैं और वे मेरे भरोसे के कितने लायक है, यह दिखाने के लिए उन्हें सितंबर 17, 1883 तक 1 साल दिया गया है। रामास्वामी के साथ जो हुआ वह उनके साथ भी हो सकता है। मोहिनी मेरा नाम यह नाम नहीं लिखा है, इनके साथ जोड़ सकते हैं। इस पर अच्छी तरह से चिंतन करें और उपासिका से बात करें और संयोग का पता लगाए। ऊपर कही गई बातों को स्पष्ट करने के लिए उपासिका से सलाह ले, जिन्हें इस पत्र के मजकूर के बारे में कुछ भी पता नहीं होना चाहिए, और उन शब्दों को याद रखे जो एक बार लगने पर उसमें अंतरतम तक दृढ़ विश्वास रहे। लेटर नंबर 59 में मास्टर कहते हैं कि माय गुड बॉय, एसकेसी लिख भी सकते हैं और बोल भी सकते हैं, और एक अखबार में झूठी बात लिखना बोलने से ज्यादा आसान है। जब तक वह झूठा है यह दिखाया नहीं जाता, वह अपनी बुरी करतूतों में हमेशा प्रबल रहेगा। बुरी करतूतें बढ़ती ही जाएगी। आपके आदरणीय दादाजी देवेंद्रनाथ टैगोर को प्रभावित करना आसान है, और अगर एसकेसी ने ज्यादा कुछ बोला नहीं है तो वह इसलिए है क्योंकि उन वृद्ध भले मानुस को बातचीत का विषय बदलने के लिए प्रभावित किया गया था। लेकिन उन्होंने इतना कह दिया है कि जिससे एसकेसी के मन में सूक्ष्म रूप से बदलाव हुआ, उसका मन पुनः सक्रिय हो सकता है, और हम जब उम्मीद भी नहीं कर सकते तब वह यादें छोटी सी बात से जागृत हो सकती है। तदनुसार कार्य करें। माय डियर बॉय, उस गप्पी मनुष्य और देहरादून के ब्रह्मचार्य में जो कुछ भी कहा है, इसका वृत्तांत द थियोसॉफिस्ट में लिखे। यह वृत्तांत जितना हो सके उतना प्रभावशाली बनाए और दार्जिलिंग और देहरा के गवाहों का भी उसमें वर्णन दे। लेकिन कुथुम ऐसा लिखा है, हालांकि केथुम्बा कहा जाता है। उपासिका को लिखकर इलाहाबाद भेज दे। 27 नवंबर या 7 दिसंबर को बॉम्बे में थियोसॉफिकल सोसाइटी की जनरल मीटिंग होगी और सभी सोसाइटीज के डेलीगेट्स भेजे जाएंगे। मिस्टर सिनेट भी वहां जाएंगे। मैं चाहता हूं कि आप बंगाल सोसाइटी के डेलीगेट बने। कलकत्ता के बजाय आप देहरादून से इलाहाबाद जाए, मेरठ में एक दो दिन रुके और 23 या 24 को उपासिका के साथ प्रस्थान करें। यदि कलकत्ता की सोसाइटी आपकी यात्रा का खर्चा न दे तब मैं दूंगा। यह आपके देश और थियोसॉफी के उद्देश्य के खातिर बहुत जरूरी है कि आप प्रतिनिधित्व करें। निश्चित ही आप संस्थापकों के साथ रुकेंगे। यह बातें नरेंद्र को लिखें और आपकी बंगाल सोसाइटी का प्रतिनिधित्व किस तरह से अच्छा हो, इस बात पर उनकी सलाह ले। मे द ब्लेसिंग्स ऑफ आवर ग्रेट वन रेस्ट अपॉन यू, ऐसा मास्टर कहते हैं। अगर आप सब्र रखेंगे तब आपको मेरी तस्वीर मिलेगी और वह आपके लिए एक तालिस्मान के रूप में होगी। थैंक यू। नमस्ते।
Thank you, sister.
Anyone has any point to share? I don't think there is any question to discuss here, but I'm sure if we have any.
Harshvardhan ji, I think he is left.
Who's left?
Harshvardhan Seth ji, he was there, but he has left.
Okay, that's fine. So you wanted to say some prayer, right? You can just remove Meenakshi from the spotlight here. Would you like to say that poem you were saying, Vimal?
Yes, I'll remove this spotlight. I'll just 1 minute. Shall we? Does nobody want to say anything? Lakshmi ji is there. Okay. Nobody.
That's fine.
All right. Thank you. I'll just. So this is a poem written by this poet called William Butler Yeats, very famous Irish poet. Yeats. You might have heard about him, and he wrote this poem titled Mohini Chatterjee. That was the name of the poem itself, and it goes like this. I asked if I should pray, but the Brahmin said, pray for nothing. Say everything in bed. I have been a king, have been a slave, nor is there anything, fool, rascal, knave, that I have not been. And yet upon my breast a myriad heads have lain, that he must set at rest a boy's turbulent days. Mohini Chatterjee spoke these, or words like these. I add in commentary, old lovers yet may have all the time denied. Grave is heaped on grave, that they may that they be satisfied. Over the blackened earth the old troops parade. Birth is heaped on birth, that such cannonade may thunder time away. Birth hour and death hour meet, or as great sages say, men dance on deathless feet. So that's it. That's all.
You could probably write it on a good paper and just make it readable and share in a group. It's very meaningful, very, very meaningful. Thank you for sharing that. And
Professor
Minute. I just
Professor
want to say
Sindhe-
something.
Professor
Yes.
Sindhe will speak. Yeah.
okay, sir. You may say something if you want to add.
Thank you to both of you for arranging this. We are at Bihar now, Samastipur,
Okay, sir.
listening to you.
Good.
Good, विमल जी, बहुत बहुत बढ़िया से आपने बता दिया. Very nice, very nice. Actually, what we can learn from this, is about the Mohini Chatterjee. Vimalji, I ask you, what is the relation between Rabindranath Tagore and Mohini Chatterjee?
Rabindranath Tagore is his father-in-law's brother. Mohini's father-in-law's brother,
Yeah.
younger.
Yeah, that means they have come from the same family.
Yes.
If you
Yeah.
if you focus your attention on this,
Yes. Yes, sir.
and person, very deep, intellectual, penetrating, deep, and he was getting a lot of things. That was his passion. And this is what Krishnamurti also says. Youth is energy, but it needs to be controlled. Otherwise, it takes a uncontrolled shape. That is what in Mohini Chatterjee's life happened. We also very much be careful about bringing the youths and giving them the opportunity. It is nice to give, but we have to control them also. And this whole letter, you know what happened to Mohini Chatterjee, how he left the Theosophical Society, and all that happened. And when you were explaining, that thought came to me, to control the youth energy is not so easy for the administrators. It was not easy to even Master Kate. And one more thing from this letter I could understand. They were giving details how to bring all these people together in a particular place, either in Bombay or in Allahabad or in the Calcutta. These three places were very important places, and they want to bring them together first. How keenly they were giving the instructions. You come by this way, meet like this, then you come here. Nowadays it has become very easy. We can send on WhatsApp and ask them to come. Even now we can book for them. All this is easy. But that time, Master K.H. was taking so much care, writing this letter and also explaining why he is asking to come over there. All these are something to contemplate. And Vimalji, you have explained very nicely. I must congratulate you. We always enjoy your way of explanation. Thank you very much. Thank you. Thank you, Suvarlina, for giving this opportunity. We are listening together, myself and Mahapatra.
Okay, sir. Lakshmi ji wants to say something. Please, Lakshmi ji, continue.
Of course, it's related or not. Parallelly, we are studying Alcott old diary lives, and so many things are coinciding here. In that, about Mohini Chatterjee and all these things. And another thing he told that good vision means some people when they look, we'll get some blessings like that. Some people's eye. And as an American, he said so clearly all these things, and I felt that by. And your explanation is very nice, as Shindeji said. It is very what I can sweet to listen.
So I think that Suvarlina is also working with a lot of youngsters.
Of course.
We are here. We also have lots of youngsters, so we can get this idea from Shindeji's thing also about youth, and like you say about appearance. One more thing I wanted to just add that, in that meeting, the December 7th meeting, Master M and another Master Atreya were visible to many people in their astral form. Very special. Many people saw Master M and another Master Atreya in that December 7th meeting in Bombay. Okay, Sabrina, we can end now.
Okay,
Thank you so much.
This was really an interesting thing. Not just a talk, but a lot of deliberations from different aspects. Thanks for that poem also. And I also thank Meenakshi ji for this beautiful translation. So we end this session today with a prayer. Sarve bhavantu sukhina. Sarve santu niramaya. Sarve bhadrani pashyantu.
मा कश्चित् दुःखभाग् भवेत्। ॐ शान्ति शान्ति शान्तिः। Thank you all.